Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome to This is the Police, a game that I have been very interested in, primarily because of tone. There's lots of reasons I might be interested in a game. Sometimes it's like an interesting, unique gameplay mechanic, sometimes it's an aesthetic, sometimes it's just like a core idea somewhere inside it. In this case, it's a tone. The tone I find very fascinating. The sort of thing that, well, we used to see in movies, but haven't really seen for a while, and I've never really seen in a game before either. I'm just going to show you the little intro that plays before the actual title screen here, and I think you'll kind of see what I mean.
Some might say the chief of police has no business in an institution like this. But in fact, it's the quietest and safest place in town. You won't run into any reporters. Nobody gets into any fights, nobody drinks too much, nobody even raises their voice. The place is owned by an elderly gentleman who knows how to keep things under control. That's why I never invite my friends here. I wanted to make an exception for my 60th birthday, but most of my colleagues are young enough to be my sons, and they'd rather just hire prostitutes. Why stare at some boobs when you can take the whole package for yourself? But there's none of that in our club. Even looking too long is considered indecent. You can get an occasional glimpse, like by accident. The rest of the time you just pretend that you're immersed in conversation, or just come by for a drink. Doesn't mean these gentlemen wouldn't want their bald heads smothered in tits. It's just that nobody says it out loud. My younger colleagues might call it hypocrisy, but I call it the good old-fashioned manners. Good manners and leave the rest unsaid. She agrees to unbutton her blouse, and we agree not to pay too much attention. The girls are on a quiet prowl, too. They're looking for a way out of their cramped rooms. Maybe make friends with some wealthy patron with a pacemaker and dentures. Everybody wants something. But we have to control ourselves, or we'll all turn into libertines and prostitutes. Hell, if there weren't any rules, I'd be belching and farting, jumping up on the table, arms held high, yelling, "Shake it, baby!" No idea how I got so barbaric.
So there's a bit of a grim, gritty cop film kind of feel that I can't remember ever really seeing in a game before. So this is rather interesting. And This is the Police is kind of like a story decision, almost like a management sim, I guess. But yeah, kind of sets in the world of slightly crooked police officers. A very interesting idea. Let's dive in, shall we? So here we are in Freiburg on Monday, July the 15th, and we've got ourselves some headlines. This is how the game kind of tells you what's going on. There's headlines. City Hall confirms rumours of Jack Boyd's resignation. Okay, whoever that is. Mayor Rogers, sex maniac, replies the Golden Bird. And The Fact, Freiburg's #1 paper. Mark War 2 to be shown in Freiburg the day before the worldwide premiere by the mayor's personal request. Okay, well in that case, I guess I better go to work because I can't click on any of these papers.
When I was a kid, my father sometimes told me at bedtime that if I closed my eyes and didn't open them for a long time, all the demons would blow away. Yesterday I turned 60, but I still take his advice. Not because I'm sentimental or want to keep the memory of my father alive. I just can't think of a better solution. To get away from all the demons that haunt Freiburg, I'd need to wear a blindfold 24/7. Plus, it's a good idea to act blind when talking to reporters. At least that's what my colleagues say. They're afraid of press conferences. But for me, it's more like a confessional. No matter what lies you tell, you're privately thinking the honest answers. It helps me remember who I am. The fact that I'll be reading all about it in the papers tomorrow is a small price to pay. Call it penance for the preacher. This is the first time I'm afraid of those answers my mind has given me. Not because I'm mad I'm losing my job. Though it's true, I'm mad as hell. Not because I subconsciously blame everyone else, though I damn sure do blame them. And don't even ask me what my next move is. I can't imagine. But even that doesn't scare me. The worst thing is, I know I'm gonna have to do something. I'll be damned if I know how far I'll go. I may have a lot of vices, but predictability isn't one of them. I learned a long time ago how to drive away the swarming demons. But what do you do when they're trying to rip your soul from your skin? Shutting my eyes tight as I can. The best solution remains the same: play blind. I just hope the reporters think I was blinded by the camera flash.
Good morning. So I'm guessing I'm Jack Boyd from that newspaper, the guy who indeed was confirmed to be being let go. So I'm being pushed out by someone. Got it. Also, can I just say how this game is utterly, utterly gorgeous. I love a game that looks distinctive and interesting. It reminds me a little bit of 13, that old kind of cel-shaded comic book shooter back on the GameCube PS2 era, but oh, it's just lovely. I love it. It's so distinctive. Yesterday, the mayor's office officially announced your resignation. Did this come as a surprise, or did you know about it in advance? Okay, I've been advised to play blind. Play nice, don't cause trouble. Surprised, the mayor discussed it with me. I've been expecting this bullshit from the mayor. What's the difference? The mayor discussed it with me. That seems fair, because even if he only discussed it with me shortly before he fired me, that would still be true. So Mayor Rogers told me that he wants a fresh face running Freeburg Police Department. So no, it didn't come as a surprise. And do you already know the name of your successor? No, I think it's a new man. I think it'll be a department veteran. Who cares? No, I do not. Let's be entirely truthful there. Of course not, and I don't think the mayor's office knows who it is. Oh, that was a bit more confrontation than I actually meant to be. Never mind. And then, after the recent corruption scandal, your deputy Francis Kendrick said he was looking forward to resigning. If the mayor offered him your position, would that change his mind? Perhaps, no way, I'd be happy. I think you can just reply, who cares to everything. It's like, nah, not bothered. Possibly. I don't know. I can't speak for Francis. Good old Francis Kendrick. Unless Francis Kendrick is a bastard who pushed me out, in which case I hate that dick. And sounds possible if he thinks the new office would help him serve the city a little longer. And though Kendrick was acquitted, many still believe the police are cooperating with the mafia. Do you have anything to say about this? Bullshit. I don't know if it helps the police. Yeah, no comment. Obviously, I can't comment on that. And usually I prefer to answer all your questions, but in this situation I've got to say, no comment. And do you think your personal relationship with the mayor could be the reason behind your retirement? Ooh, what is my personal relationship with the mayor? That's intriguing. Possibly. I can't rule it out. It's often difficult to say what guides policy decisions. That's a nice diplomatic answer that doesn't actually say anything. Thank you, says the unified voice of the press. And I think they all just sit there and in unison say thank you together, just to mark how glad they are I've been answering their questions.
How's the back today, Mr. Boyd?
Same as usual.
How did the press conference go?
You can read about it in the newspapers tomorrow. Don't let anyone in.
Even Mr. Kendrick?
Especially Mr. Kendrick.
Oh yeah, Mr. Kendrick pushed me out then. Dear oh dear. Oh, and I may have a prescription drug problem as well.
As soon as I heard the door creak, I knew what face I'd see. When I tell Emma not to let anyone in, there's only one man it could be. Rude, arrogant, no warning. That's Mayor Rogers in a nutshell. White summer shoes, white socks, white shorts, white polo shirt, and the white smile of a hungry shark. Mayor Rogers enters every room like he owns the place. Even the floorboards under his feet sound like they're creaking an apology. He never shied away from the odd corruption scheme. It's like the devil walks behind him. In the movies, the villains controlling the city play golf with the judges. Rogers plays tennis with them instead. That's about the only difference.
Jack, I was hoping to catch you after the press conference. You ran away so quick.
There's no smoking at City Hall. No reason for me to hang around.
Well, this morning I signed a ban on smoking in all public buildings. Soon you won't be able to smoke here either.
Soon enough I won't be here at all.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. The people of this city like you, Jack. The police chief of all people. Don't betray that, Jack. Don't get wrapped up in any schemes. Sit nice and quiet for the next 180 days, and you'll be remembered as a hero. That's the only thing that you still have left. Be the hero.
Then how am I supposed to scrape together a retirement fund?
You had a million chances to secure a luxury pension, one that even I would have envied, although I've never set aside any money for myself. I'm not planning to retire anytime soon. "180 days of quiet, Jack. That's all I need. I don't have any problems with you, and you won't have any problems with me. I have a new assistant, Troy Starr. If you have something to tell me, call him. But try not to bother him. He's a busy man."
I'll do my best.
"And quit smoking up the office. One of my friends will be using it soon."
So I'm guessing the implication there is, yes, the chief of police in this city and in this period is kind of supposed to secure themselves a retirement fund by playing ball with the mafia, with various criminal elements. Just kind of, quietly shuffle enough money into their personal possession to get by after they retire. But our Jack Boyd possibly has been a little bit too honest for his own good. So now I've got 180 days where the mayor wants me to just keep quiet, but I've actually got to earn enough money to get a retirement going. So I've suddenly got to become the dirtiest cop in the world without getting caught actually doing it. Marvellous. So Francis Kendrick could replace Jack Boyd. So I'm guessing we don't like Francis Kendrick. From what I said to Emma, my, secretary, person assistant, whatever. Jack Boyd on his resignation asked the mayor, "Oh, that's cute stuff you say actually makes it into the paper. That's nice." And people await a fresh look from next police chief. All right, let's go to work then.
Cops don't use the police station cafeteria anymore. There's some kind of stigma against sitting shoulder to shoulder with your partners. Everybody just takes snacks from the machines or grabs a meal and hammers it down in the corner like a vulture on a corpse. The main thing? Don't look into anyone's eyes. Could be construed as an invitation to sit together. The only people eating here are ghosts. My deputy, Francis Kendrick, he recently became one of those ghosts, the subject of one of the most devastating corruption scandals in the history of Freeburg. No evidence to support the accusations, but everyone knows Kendrick's days are numbered. I need that file I asked for. Needs to be ready tonight. Francis didn't say anything, but I understood. Ghosts aren't supposed to talk. Besides, I got a feeling he was already finished.
Would you like to receive tips about how the games work? Show me what you've got. I'm a 60-year-old police chief a few months away from retirement. I don't need anyone telling me how to do my job. Yes, why don't you tell me what to do, tutorial? So, Freeburg Police Department organises upcoming work assignments into shifts for today and tomorrow. Every shift, officers respond to crimes in progress and detectives continue their investigations. You can freely move employees between shifts. Okay. So, all officers and detectives possess several important characteristics. Why don't you tell me what those are? So there's professionalism next to the badge there. The overall efficiency level of a policeman, figure around 150 is considered average. Any policeman who falls short of this mark is not entirely reliable, while those whose professionalism is considerably higher than average are a safe bet even in a pinch. Okay, so Abrams at 1,230 is excellent, marvellous. An individual's level of professionalism may rise and fall over the course of their career, and I'm guessing like if you ask them to do shady stuff it might go down, for example. Alright, keep an eye on all of that. Then we've got energy, how tired your policemen are. The less energy your people have, the less reliable their work, and a policeman who is exhausted might fall asleep at the wheel or make a critical error on the job. Your employees lose 1 point of energy after each working day and restore 1 point each day of rest. Alright, keep an eye on that. Your employees don't tell you everything. Some additional characteristics are hidden from view. For instance, some cops are lazy and will come up with any reason they can think of to take the day off, while others like to drink too much. You can only guess about these things, but you should be able to draw your own conclusions based on the behaviour of your employees. Alright, try and kind of figure out what people aren't telling me, because the game won't tell me. Marvellous. And sadly, we don't have good old Abrams with 1,230 professionalism. We've just got some other cops here. So, we've got these guys over here are my better cops. These over here are my worst cops. This woman is literally bloody useless. Marvellous. And then we've got one good detective and two okay but not spectacular detectives. Alright, fine. Good old Cocky. We like Cocky. We're going to give her all the important jobs. Everyone's full energy, and I can't see anything we can do with any of these. Left-clicking, right-clicking doesn't do anything, so alright, start the day in that case. And suddenly we've got jazzy music, marvellous. So responding to calls is the bread and butter of police work. You'll need to send your officers to the crime scene before the timer expires. A mark on the map shows where the call came from. The farther away the destination is from the police station, the longer it will take your officers to travel back and forth, so the longer your people will be tied up and unavailable for upcoming work. So arguably you don't necessarily want to send your best cop like miles away, because if you do, then they'll kind of be stuck away all day or something. Right. So, hit and run, crime in progress. The easiest way to determine how difficult a task might be is to check how many units you are allowed to send on the call. The more units you can send, the more serious the alleged threat. Particularly risky missions give you the option of sending SWAT, but they must be accompanied by at least one officer. Okay. The number of slots is not the only thing to consider. Any available information from the location of the crime scene to the presence of weapons and so on, all this can tell you how seriously each case should be taken. A mission might look simple at first glance until it turns into a brutal meat grinder. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. Or a serious call can come in which turns out to be a false alarm. Got it. So, hit and run everyday mall. A married couple exited a convenience store and saw a van in the parking lot back over a homeless man who'd been digging through a trash can. The driver jumped out to help, but once he saw it hit a bum, got back into the van and drove quickly away. And I can send 2 officers. Alright, well let's send... That doesn't seem like the most... Well, it's a bad thing, but like a really good cop won't be able to do like any better job than an average cop, so I'm going to send 2 of my sort of average cops along. So yeah, you lot can proceed. So off you go over there. So they're setting off... Oh, that's really cute. That's really cute that you actually kind of see them set off from the police station and off they go. Alright, let's go over here nice and quickly, and time pauses while you're actually in the menu. Crime in progress this time. There is a fight going on at the Last Picture Show Theatre. A theatre manager reports that during a showing of Citizen Kane, a drunk man attempted to force his way into the theatre, carrying a snowboard decorated with the word Rosebud. When he was denied entry, he violently attacked the cashier and is currently fighting with the theatre's security guard. Well, he sounds like a bit more of like a crazy person than anything else. Like, do I have the option of sending the SWAT at this point? No, the SWAT isn't even allowed to go along. Like, just because I can doesn't mean I should always send 2 people. Let's send Yancey along just in case it becomes a bit more serious, and he can be accompanied by Price, who can stand and watch, because I'm not sure there's going to be much else for her to do today. So they can proceed with that as well. So now they go along their little path. I like the little city map, by the way. So day 2, and oh, a storm has just swung in. Intriguing. Hit and run. Okay, now I get to report. Lovely. So when everything goes well, the police capture the criminals and nobody dies. But the truth is, sometimes the criminals manage to escape. Just try to avoid any dead cops or civilians. Dead cops will hurt your roster. Dead citizens bother the mayor even more than living ones. That's cute. So what actually happened? So the offender escaped, but the officers were unharmed. And as a result, those guys actually become worse police officers because they failed to do something. Alright, well that's a bit of a shame. And now they're presumably going to be... and now they're coming back to the station. And when they get back, I can actually send them on. Oh, how did the fight go at least? So the offender was caught, the officers were unharmed, the civilians were unharmed, so they become better officers. Okay, so really... you probably want to be, like, not sending your very best officer into the field. Because if you send your very best officer into the field, it's not available if an emergency comes up. But you kind of want to be sending, like, the second best officers you've got available for the most part. And Price, I want to get Price up. Price is going to become a good policewoman, damn it. We're going to make her a better police officer. So some people are nearly back. And then, actually, if I just wait for a second, these guys will actually make it back to the station. All right, now, over to here, what have we got? We've got an armed robbery in the suburb. Oh, that seems quite bad. So 3 teenagers armed with a shotgun? blimey, robbed a videotape store and made off with the whole collection of adult movies. Bloody kids, eh? The criminals fled in a car, but the store manager wrote down the car's license plate. The owner is a Janet Brown who lives in the suburbs. Right. This seems like a really sort of bad thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send in my best police officer for this, because there's a shotgun involved, which seems really, really kind of bad. And we're going to send... Yeah, we're going to send Asano to assist as well. So we've got, like, combined 350 professionalism. That seems alright. So you go off there, and now, what's going on here? A fight. A brother and a sister clashed with each other over their deceased father's will. According to one of their lawyers, we don't dare separate them, and our security guard is off duty tonight. That does not seem that serious at all, to be honest. I would say... the thing is, right... Well, actually, Yancey's about to be back. So Purdy, together with Austin, can both go. Because we've got some police coming, like, in right now. So now we've got a couple of officers have just kind of returned. Yancey's back. That's going off over there. I like this. Also, it's beautiful. I love that little map. That's gorgeous. And then an assault in the ghetto. So a passerby saw some teenagers attack an elderly musician and then run away with his guitar and money. That's really mean, but like there's no mention of them being armed or anything. Let's send Yancey, and who's nearly coming back, by the way? Ooh, I kind of want to leave. Okay, we'll send Price along as well. Like, as long as she's with Yancey, she'll be fine. And then we've still got Sabaki here in case anything bad pops up. But I'm kind of a bit low on police officers right now, to be perfectly honest. So I could do with no more crimes. Oh dear. Ooh, and the armed robbery in the suburb has gone a bit more serious. When your cops aren't sure how to proceed, they might contact you and ask you to handle the situation. Try to deal with whatever comes up, but don't waste all your time with this stuff. You have plenty of other problems on your plate. Okay, so the vehicle in question is parked right outside the Brown residence. The sounds of moaning and loud laughter can be heard through the living room window. Okay, so they're listening to the adult tapes that they've kind of put on. So turn on the siren and the loudspeaker, shout that the house is surrounded, sneak into the house for an open window, knock on the door, open up police. I would say probably best just like, they're teenagers, but they did have a shotgun. Probably best, like, just give them an opportunity to give themselves up, I would say. Turn on the loudspeaker, shout the house is surrounded, and... offender was caught, officers unharmed! Nice, so Cocky's got a bit better, and so's Asano. Good old Cocky and Asano, we like them. So I guess they just kind of gave themselves up. Beautiful. Now I really hope nothing... Oh, and the fight is done as well. Beautiful. What happened here? Offenders caught, officer unharmed. Well, that wasn't a particularly difficult one, to be honest. It didn't feel like that fight was going to get too out of control, given there was a brother and a sister involved. How long's the working day, by the way? What time does the day actually end? And you, meanwhile, are heading way over here to something. Go on, tell me, how's this going on? How did the assault go? And the offender escaped. The officers were unharmed. Oh, no! Price is back down to nothing, dear oh dear. Yancey, you let me down. You're supposed to be one of the good guys, damn it. And Cocky's back at the station, so if anything else does come up now, we should be well under control. Marvellous. And we put the shutters down and don't bother dealing with anything else. Yes, in that case, end of the day. Overtime. If you think you need a couple of extra hands tomorrow, you can order any cop to come in and work overtime. But if they're working flat out, they'll be much more exhausted. Someone's bound to make a mistake. Oh, I see. So those are the guys I've got today. Tomorrow, I've got a whole different bunch of people where I've got... Ooh, tomorrow's a bit more difficult. Tomorrow, I've got one really good guy and kind of a group of actually not very good people at all. I tell you what, I'll probably bring one more person who's actually decent in, but I've got a load of people who are like that. Actually, they said like, what was it, 120 is about average. We've got Van Dahl and this guy. Maybe I should bring in... You know what, I'll tell Purdy to do... Actually, no, Yancey. He just messed up at the end of the day there. Yeah, oh, but he did well at the beginning. No, he messed up at the end. You have to work tomorrow, and then we'll kind of give you a bit more of a day off later. But he's like our backup. Remember, don't use Yancey unless we have to. Actually, no, we can use Yancey freely tomorrow, but then be a bit more careful about using him the day after, all right? End the day.
Used to be when I asked Kendrick to stay late at the office, he liked to grumble and crack wise. Nowadays, he doesn't have the strength for it. Slumped shoulders, blank stare, wrinkled skin. The past few weeks, I don't hardly recognize my old friend. In his younger years, he reminded me of a gallant royal officer in an old Kipling story. Kendrick isn't just crumbling under the weight of the public pressure, but from the shame of it all. Internal Affairs raided the library he inherited from his grandfather, hoping they'd find buckets of cash stashed in the pages. Heard about the look on his face, the fearless policeman standing helpless in horror. I've known Francis for 30 years. The past 20 years he's played loose with the law. And I know that at a certain point every stolen dollar brings more misery than anything else. Probably sounds crazy, but I sympathize with the guy. What can I do? Your friends are your friends, and these are the waters we swim in.
Called all of the people on that list today. Now they know you're in business, so you could get a call from any of them. You don't need to worry about any of them. I've cleared them all.
And what kind of business are we talking here?
It's nothing too serious, just like you asked. Should be just a few small favors. Payments will vary depending on the situation and who you're dealing with. How much are you looking to earn?
$500,000.
$500,000? Why not a whole million?
Because everybody wants to take $1 million. Figured I'd try something different.
$500,000 in 180 days? Well, you could earn it all above board if you netted all the big fish and hit all your bonuses.
Never knew you for a fisherman.
Well, you never got into my business, and I'm not trying to get into yours. But be careful about bringing in any other cops. Sooner or later, they'll put the finger on you. And one more thing, Jack. I remember what you said, but I should probably add one more name to that list. Christopher Sand.
Sand. Christopher G. Sand. Everyone knows the name, but few could tell you who he is. The old man stays away from the spotlight. Always wears old-fashioned jeans and knitted sweaters. Gives to charity. Rarely attends social events. An avid hunter, I hear. Even dabbles in poetry. You'd never guess he's the head of the oldest and most powerful gang in the city. Goes back as far as his great-grandfather. And Sand is strict about following the old rules. He rarely involves himself in commonplace murders and robberies. Hardly needs to intimidate anyone to get his point across. The people who work for him each have their sphere. They provide protection where needed, even work with the authorities when they want to make a deal. Meanwhile, Sand pulls the strings without getting his hands dirty. People sometimes mistake his quiet approach. A couple years ago, an arms dealer decided to expand its business without asking permission, and his whole family paid the price. In 4 weeks, Sand killed 31 people. Old men, women, even a few teenagers. And Sand's people made sure every paper reported it. Frank, I don't want to hear you say that name again.
Jack, please, listen to me. I'm in with these guys.
We agreed, Frank. That's not the kind of business I'm into. I don't go there. Never have, never will.
And the papers arrive, and the main point of the game comes into focus. Very, very interesting. I've got to make $500,000 for my retirement, and in theory, I don't need to break the law in the slightest to do it. If I was just a really, really, really effective chief of police and, like, brought in some really big criminals and, like, you know, did my job really well, I could just earn enough bonuses to make $500,000 in 6 months. Very, very interesting. Or, of course, I could do a little bit of crime on the side, just some little extra payments, do a little few favours for some people, make sure a few things get swept under the rug. Or, it seems like there is potentially a bigger criminal I could work with. Christopher Sand, who, if I were to work with him, maybe there'd be some big payments, but it's dirty work and presumably could backfire horribly if I don't handle it. Oh, I like this. This is good. Also, the voice acting is fantastic, and the script is actually quite nicely done, so there's actually quite a compelling story between days, which is lovely. It reminds me a bit of the Westport Independence, but with a bit more gameplay, and the story is actually a little bit better told between days. There's more kind of context for it all. It's lovely. Now, what have we got here? So, construction of Cinema Museum postponed again, Francis Kendrick announces retirement date, and legendary singer Gennaro Crespo comes to Freeburg. Lovely, let's go to work. Nothing major there. So asking for a day off. When a police officer is too tired to be effective, he will ask for a day off. Some officers will request days off even when we're at full strength. Some of the reasons you'll hear are far-fetched, while some are very serious. Don't overindulge your subordinates, but don't antagonise them either. Remember that everybody's got secrets, and you've got to make sure these guys have your back. Okay, so if I annoy the police too much, I'm going to be in trouble myself, because I might have a few dirty secrets. In fact, well, even if I don't already, I'm about to start having some. So Roy, who's incredibly ineffective, is saying it looks like the janitor hasn't been around to clean the toilets today. I don't know about you, but I care about the cleanliness of my intimates. Can I go home? That's a pretty feeble excuse. Yes, you can, but you have to come in tomorrow. I've got some terrible heartburn this morning. Might be better if I go home and lie down. Okay, fine. You're just an extra anyway. I guess you can go home. So in addition to their performance ratings, police officers also possess rank. Employees begin at the lowest rank and can be elevated in rank with 1, 2 or 3 stripes. Once a week you can pass out stripes and improve the rank of any employee. If you think that no one is worthy of the honour some week, you can postpone the ceremony until later. So, it does. That makes them much, much better. It adds like 50 to their effectiveness immediately. So employees of rank not only increase in professionalism, but also learn to command. Whenever a ranking officer is on the scene, his or her colleagues are more likely to perform better than usual. I like this. This is good. Sometimes when cops get ranked, they start thinking more seriously about their service. This can mean less drinking and more time spent on the job. Some of them might even turn out to be dependable. So potentially, if someone's like pretty good, but might have a personal problem, giving them a bit of rank might actually help sort it out. Got it. So I've got 2 stripes to hand out here. Well, you know what? I could probably do with... You know what, maybe hold off, because I'd like to learn a little bit more about these guys, but having one guy who's really good here wouldn't hurt. Oh, he's already got a stripe. Alright, well, you know what, I kind of need a bit of extra firepower here today, because you have decided to go home and you're useless. So I'm going to give a star to Vandal. So he gets a star immediately, and we're going to hold off handing over any more stars at all. Though, I could just boost someone. No, you know what, we'll hold off for now and we'll see what we can learn. So music turntable. Freiburg isn't one of those cities where you listen to what they say or nothing at all. You can always select a song from your collection and play it any time, just like real life. Well, life of your grandfather. Intriguing. So I can just change... Actually, I like the music. I like the music in this game. I'm happy with default music. And now let's learn how to hire and fire cops. God, I don't want to fire cops. Why do I want to fire cops? That would be bad. Down here in affairs. Got it. So, affairs, police station... And then there is a labour market with the police station. You have a certain number of paid job openings for which you can hire any available applicant. Job spots are separated between officers and detectives. And honestly, I see kind of no reason not to just hire the person with the highest professionalism, really. I'm not really sure why you wouldn't, because political views always seem to be unknown. I tell you, we could probably do with a little bit more manpower for Shift A at the moment, so I'm going to hire you for Shift A. Sure, why not? And if you want to free up a slot, it's time to fire someone. Alright, well... I'm gonna be honest, Roy, you were kind of useless. So for being completely 100% ineffective and then deciding that you wanted to go home because the toilet wasn't clean enough, yeah, you're being fired now. Bye! If you have legal grounds for termination, no one will ask any questions. You might need to fire them anyway, legality be damned, but that could land you in additional proceedings, and your other staff will become more worried about keeping their jobs than they are about actually doing their jobs. Another way to free up a slot is to have a police officer killed, but that's not really a valid option, right? No, it's not. You are going to be fired legally because you are... Well, you tried not to come into work. No, I'm firing you legally for being too old. That doesn't strike me as particularly legal, but yes, let's try it anyway. You're too old. Boo! And up we go, and we've got a problem at St. John's Cathedral. We received a frightening call from a local cathedral. This morning, the abbot discovered that someone entered the old cemetery during the night. The old yard's tombstones are painted with satanic symbols. Some have been broken into pieces. It seems there are even marks from a shovel, but the abbot would say no more. Okay, we've got some grave digging going on here. Not exactly the most serious thing in the world. Let's send Robbins and Birch, who's not very good. Right, send you guys out. Where's that extra person I hired, by the way? I hired an extra person, but maybe they don't show up just yet. Also, it's very close by. So, yeah, I've got this person who, yeah, I fired Roy. And then you, I guess maybe you don't get to come in just yet. Also, apparently I've got a new slot, because I fired someone. So, you know what? Why not bring in you also to Shift... Well, hang on. How's Shift A looking here? Oh, yeah, we may as well get rid of Price as well. Yeah, fire Price. She's bloody useless. She's also too old. And then we will hire someone for Shift B as well. So, labour market. Hire for Shift B. May as well bring you on board. You seem pretty good. So yeah, sure, we'll hire an extra person for B, and once again, we've got kind of you for B, lovely. So they, I'm guessing, won't actually start until the next shift. They don't get to come in immediately. That's 100% fine. So you kind of lose a person for the day if you fire someone, but then I'm guessing they come in later. So you're heading over to the cathedral, which is right there, because you can kind of literally see it. So, vandalism in Atticus Tower. Businessman Harley Jones, looking out of his window, saw two teenagers scratching offensive slogans on his new car. Not exactly a big deal here. Let's send Samdi and... screw it, send Grant as well, because these two will be back momentarily because the cathedral is so close. So, proceed. Oh, I could have sent 3 people. That seemed really, really unnecessary. Now, hopefully, by the time the next big thing comes in, these guys will be back from the cathedral. Anyway, also, what's over here on this island? I like this. I think that's the mayor's island. He just lives on that island over there. Vandalism. Tell me what went on here. So, we caught the offender. Officers were unharmed. Beautiful. Good. Robbins is starting to get a little bit better. That's very, very good news. So, back we come. And suspicious individual... Eddie's Burgers. I'm just going to let these guys actually return for a moment, because there's no reason... Actually, if I do, then there's more chance something else will show up. So a waitress named Mila reports that she just served a Chicken Eddie and a Diet Coke to a dangerous criminal who she'd seen on television this morning. The culprit is sitting at the window eating a burger. Now, you see, she might have made a mistake. I don't know at all that she's actually right. So let's not send our best cop. But let's send a decent cop and also Birch Jr. just for a little bit of extra firepower there, because he's got a rank and he's decent. So we'll see, but I'm not convinced it's necessarily actually the real deal. Oh, hello, we've got something new going on here. What's this? Also, let's read the reports first. Hang on. So the waitress had mistaken retired officer Frank Nero for the fugitive in question. Yep, as I suspected, that was a false alarm. Lovely. And as for the vandalism... The offender escaped. The officers, however, were unharmed. Okay, that's a shame, but never mind. Now, what's going on over here? What's this green thing? Mr. Boyd, my bouncer stuffed himself with Mexican food again, and now he can't get off the can. Meanwhile, the line outside the club is stretching around the block. We need someone outside who can tell the cool guys from the punks. Oh, I see. So I'm guessing this is going to get me some money, but nothing else. So I'm not going to send my best guys. I could send... do I want to send Grant? Is she going to be good enough? See, I don't really want to waste Samdi because... Actually, even if I send Samdi, I've still got like 3 much better guys. I'm going to send Samdi. Yeah, send him. And hopefully that will actually be good enough to take care of that. I mean, the day's actually close to over, to be honest. Also, we've got some nice classical music on in the background. I turned the classical music on the record player. That's lovely. Drug sales... That's quite a big deal, potentially. Anonymous call just came in. A clown carrying balloons at the skating rink is selling crack to teenagers. Okay. That seems a little bit unlikely, to be perfectly honest. But alright, let's send in one of our better officers, alright, who's got the rank. And let's send in a worse officer to see if we can get Grant up a little bit. Alright, you guys both head over there. It seems like it's pretty close by. You, meanwhile, Samdi are going off to that thing. Ooh, hello, we've got a serious one here. Fleet Street, a naked man carrying a canister of gasoline is trying to set himself on fire unless his favourite chewing gum becomes popular again. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure we can do much about that. Right, that's a serious one. We don't want dead people. Send my very best cop. Okay, my very best cop can go. And, I can't send my second best cop. Send Birch in as well. Send both of them, alright? It's going to be fine, but I'm sending my best guy in to take care of that issue. And we've got ourselves a report from Sam What's-His-Face. Oh, dear. Sorry, Chief, but I quit. In one night, I pulled in more cash than I earned in a month working at this dump. Mr. Sorkin said he wouldn't mind taking me on. I guess I just wasn't cut out to be a cop. So I've actually just lost Samdi forever because he was happier working there. But... I'm guessing that big pile of money that came in was from Sam Sorkin. So I made a big pile of money. Well, not a huge pile of money. Not much money at all, to be honest. But I've lost a cop. Right, okay, hang on. Yeah, $4,500. Lovely. Now, over to affairs. That means I need to hire someone right now. So I need someone new for Shift A to replace Samedi. Who is going to replace Sam? Actually, how good was Samedi anyway? He was only 100. I can actually replace him with someone better. This is not a bad thing in the slightest. Yeah, hire you for Shift A. Marvellous. Meanwhile, we've got some serious crimes to take care of here. In particular, the shutters are coming down, so no more crimes come in, but obviously we're hanging around just to hear what goes on here. Oh dear, the drug sales. So as the police arrive, a clown is seen making balloon animals for the kids. Murder him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Cover up in a raincoat, pretend to be an illicit customer, take the clown onto the ice and round up any witnesses, carefully watch the clown from the stands. To be honest, it could be a mistake. It could be a mistake here. I've got some pretty decent people watching him take the clown to the ice and round up the witnesses. No, let's just carefully watch him, alright? And the offender was caught. The officers were unharmed. Alright, we did that carefully. It worked out nicely. Vandal is getting better. As for the suicide, meanwhile, the suicide threat, come on. Offender is caught. It's not really an offender. He was just a mad person. Just make sure he gets some help, alright? And that there is the end of the day. Marvellous. Nice, clean, easy day there. Admittedly, my detectives literally are not doing anything right now. I'm guessing that's going to start tomorrow, because it seems like tutorialise one thing a day. So I'm guessing the detectives are going to come in tomorrow. And no little story bit this time, straight into the following day's newspapers. Feminist organisation denied official registration, Robespierre to reveal his identity when the time is right, and enemies using feminists to destroy Freiburg. Off to work we go.
Whenever I'm alone at home and there's a knock at the door, I always hope it'll be my wife, Laura. She's always forgetting her keys.
Hello, my name is Steve, and you're Jack Boyd, is that right?
To get to my front door, the Bible boys walked about a mile from the local bus stop, jumping over mud puddles and skirting a couple of landfills. Laura doesn't go in for religion either. But according to her, these brave lunatics with their fake smiles deserve at least a minute of attention. She patiently listens to them, asks them questions, regales them with pastries, and never once dropping a hint of condescension. When I watch her do it, I've got to admit it gets me. I'd have hugged those boys, sat with them on the porch and lit up a cigar. But a month after Laura left, all I could do was quietly ask them not to bother me. Today I'm a little rougher still. Shut the door on his nose this time. Another couple weeks at this rate and I'll be greeting anyone who comes close with my service pistol pointed towards the sky, ready to fire my warning shots. In my life, even the basic stuff never goes like it's supposed to. Normally, when a wife is going to leave home, she'll make a scene or at least sit everyone down for a serious conversation. But Laura just disappeared. The children in the stories always stand on the side of the mother, but all three of our sons supported me. The in-laws always blame the husband for making their daughter unhappy. But now Sally, Laura's mother, well, we sort of have a pact. The fellow Laura ran off with is young enough to be her son. I hear he's 30 years old. Of all the possible information a man can know about his wife's lover, I get hit with that. Fortunately, Laura's mother doesn't like the way it sounds either. Sally figures this guy just thought he'd have some fun with a mature woman, but he'll be back chasing college girls before the year is out. So we have an agreement. Sally's gonna track down Laura and try to reason with her, and we'll arrange a meeting. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to not do anything stupid, which of course means anything at all. It's a crazy situation. I'm the police chief, and the person I'm trusting to find my wife is an old woman armed with a phone book. But I can't afford to lose Sally as an ally. So for the moment, I had to swallow my pride.
Hello.
Mrs. Markham, this is Boyd.
Oh, is there any news?
That's what I wanted to ask you. Have you found anything? An address, phone number? Have you spoken to her?
Don't worry, Jack. I've narrowed the range to 2 suspects, or whatever you like to say at your police building.
At my police building, we find people faster than a funny old woman chirping on the phone with my wife's girlfriends.
Oh, you're an old man, Jack. Come to your senses. They'd give us straight odds on the street. But I've got more energy, Jack. Maybe you think I'm a foolish old woman, but I go to my book club, argue with the girls about Byron, and it gives me energy. I talk to my dogs, and it gives me energy. And you have nothing, Jack. You don't even have a hobby. You got no passion. It's why Laura left you.
Let's not go back into that, Sally. Find my wife, and we can discuss my hobbies later. I'm waiting for your call, and my patience is running thin. Laura, if you've stopped loving me, I'll let you go. I can't expect the impossible from you. Just don't let me die out here, okay?
And here we are the following day. So Woodard says that he's drunk too much and he doesn't think he can hold it together. Can you go home? Yeah, but you have to come in tomorrow as a consequence. You have to make up for it. My neighbour died and his wife asked me to help with the funeral arrangements. Can I take the day? Yancey, you're one of our best people. This is a bit of a problem, really. But yes, but you have to come in tomorrow. That's kind of my default. Oh, we are a little bit short-handed today. Right. In that case, I've got an idea, which is the stripes. We're going to hand out one of them right away because we are shy on people. So we're going to hand out one of them over to Purdy to get her up to snuff. So she's up to 270 and is now our best person. We've also got a pretty decent secondary tier of people. I just don't want to upset my cops, really. Now, let's put on the classical music here. Lovely. There we go. So, hang on. Message. Fire all black cops? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the heck is going on here? A racist gang has recently made some trouble in the city. They're capturing black townspeople and beating them to death. They recently sent a message to a local radio station promising to kill all the black doctors, firemen, and police. We don't need any more dead police, especially not mere months before the election. The racists are gaining more and more followers, and even some of our citizens are supporting them. You'll have to fire all your black employees over the next 2 days due to mounting racial tension. Could I not just go and capture the bastards or something? This strikes me as... Okay, if someone commits a serious offence and flees the scene, the case goes to your... Oh! Okay, this is what my detectives are for. Lovely. They investigate the crime scene, interview witnesses, and gather whatever information seems pertinent. One of your detectives will be lead investigator on the case. You can assign additional detectives to any case who will work under the lead investigator as subordinates. The more professional the lead investigator, the more effective the team. Okay, so let's put this was a homicide and a black activist, Ronnie Moore, was found shot dead. That seems quite serious. I'm putting Mole right in there. And you know what? Mole can be teamed up with DeBrito. Sure, we'll send 2 people to take care of this. It seems really rather serious. So that happens there. And we've got another serious thing here. Destruction of property, City Hall parking lot. A member of the city's cleaning crew saw an elderly man approaching some expensive cars in a parking lot carrying a long iron rod. The whole street could hear him shouting, bastards, thieves, and bloodsuckers. Nothing too bad is going to happen there, to be honest. Let's send... my second... Oh, do I even need to send my second best cop? Yeah, let's send my second best cop. I think it's quite close by. And we'll send Sabaki along with them. Right. Send you off. That's quite close by. Now, what I need to think about is... I'm supposed to be firing all of my black officers. Now, I don't actually, by coincidence, have that many black officers. I've got 3. And one of the ones that's supposed to be here today is already here. So... can I legally fire you? No. What could I come up with as an excuse to fire him? Failed 3 attempts in a row. Won't be able to do that. Too old. Came to work drunk. Didn't come to work. Darn it. Meanwhile, we've got this chappie who is... oh, no. Sorry. He wasn't the drunk one. It was the other one that was drunk. This guy came to work drunk. Can we just fire him for being... yeah, came to work drunk. Screw him. All right. We'll fire him right now. Yep. You got fired. Austin. We have to come up with an excuse to fire you. We might have to... wait and see if we can come up with one. So we need a new officer for Shift B. Right, let's go. Dear, oh dear. Shift... oh, we're really running low on officers in the labour market. It doesn't refresh that quickly. Luckily, this is a white guy, so everything's fine. Right, the police officers carry on their business. Hopefully nothing too bad happens because we do not have our best officers on duty right now. We are shy on personnel, at least for the moment. Now, I believe the parking lot was right here, so we'll be up to our first right now. A carjacking in the suburbs. A gas station surveillance camera recorded a car that's on the stolen vehicles list. Not exactly a big deal, to be honest. I'll keep my best cops back for the moment. White and Asano. And, ooh, apparently I could send more cops. Okay, right, well, let's send Austin in as well. But, Purdy, you have to stay here just in case something really serious happens, because we're a bit shy on things here. Homicide, the investigation has started. Okay, ooh. Okay, the investigation is different. So investigation's preliminary work. Detectives have interviewed witnesses, collected evidence from the scene, and are pursuing the investigation. Expect results. So what do we know here? Sequence of events. So started off, he came out of his house, and then he ended up being shot. Yes, that's not too complicated, to be honest. So Eric Graham, drunk witness. They drove by in a sedan. They shot like a machine gun. Didn't see much. So a neighbour only heard a few muffled shots. And he got what he deserved. He's been causing trouble for a long time, and recently there's been lots of cursing and carrying on. I don't remember the car, and the neighbourhood was quiet. I never heard any shots. And Mr. Carpenter, the police these days don't do nothing. I almost died myself. I went to buy some medicine, was nearly hit by some idiot's car. Yeah, I can't see anything else happening here. I think I just have to let the police get on with it. Okay, now, destruction of property. What have we got? You guys better have... Okay, good. Offender court officers unharmed. Lovely. Get back to the police station in a real hurry, guys, because we really need you back here. Okay, good. At this rate, even if something serious comes up, they'll get back before anything major happens. Good. Right, we took a bit of a gamble there, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. A suspicious individual. Carjacking! Now, the driver's nowhere to be seen. We could search the car, interview the eyewitnesses, or wait to safe distance for the driver to appear. Maybe, yeah, wait to safe distance. That strikes me as the most sensible thing to do. Good. Good. We caught him. Civilians unharmed, officers unharmed, and my crappy guys get a tiny bit better. Beautiful. Let my good cops get back to the station, and they are back. And now we've got a suspicious individual in the park. And Corey Ramsey, mother of several children, has expressed her concerns about a suspicious man wearing bifocals seated on a bench beside a playground. He's been watching the children for over an hour and has taken several photographs of them. Yep, that is pretty bloody creepy. Again, I don't want to send my very best people... Oh, actually, you know what? Let's send Cocky in. Cocky can go in with Sabaki. You two go there. Apparently, it's really, really close by, so that's probably a good candidate to send my, you know, good guys after. So that's good. That will be, I think it was like literally right there. Like very, very close by. And then we've got the Dragon's Lair Club. Oh, hello, we've got a report of this thing first. And good, you caught the offender, the officers were unharmed, everyone gets a little bit better, marvellous. And the Dragon's Lair Club. Mr. Boyd, I'm opening Freeburg's first martial arts club, and for my first exhibition, I want to hold a sparring match where one of my students takes on your toughest cop. After the fight, I'll teach your man a few tricks. I mean, that will help him out on the streets. That's actually kind of useful. And when you say man, actually, I think I've got literally nothing but women on this here beat. So that's intriguing. I don't want to send my toughest person. Actually, Cocky will be back in a moment. It's close to the end of the day. You know what? Sure, I'm going to send Purdy. I quite like the idea of like a slightly overweight woman being sent along and she actually kicks ass because she's quite tough. Let's send her. She can go over that way. So your detectives present frames, different version of what might have happened at the crime scene. Proceed. Okay. Open the investigation, please. So what have we actually got here? They get it wrong half the time, but a good cop can separate fact from fiction if they know how to look at the case materials. The more professional the detectives work in an investigation, the better their instincts. Okay, so to get your suspects, you'll need to figure out the true sequence of events at the crime scene using the frames you think likely, sometimes with a little guesswork thrown in. If you add it all up but the sequence fails, you're probably telling the wrong story. Okay, this is intriguing. So, went to the drugstore. Well, that's one of the... That was this guy, wasn't it? Yeah, I went to buy some medicine, was nearly hit by a car. So, the sedan. We know about the sedan, right. Possibly he... Yeah, we know the sedan happened just before he died. I think he goes out, goes over to... I'm not even sure what that is. Gets to the drugstore and then gets shot on the way back, right? Is that remotely correct? I hope that was correct. And then we've got Kevin's Throat Bar. A fight. So a bartender reports that a couple of dancers started fighting over tips and a cat fight broke out right on stage. Well, to be honest, everyone's probably thrilled about this state of affairs. I'm going to send in a team of all female police officers to help break up this cat fight. The patrons will be even more thrilled. Yes, proceed. Oh good, there's now an investigations tab. That's cool. And then a big thing just happened here. Octopus Restaurant, a fight. A bartender reports that a fight has broken out between a patron and the club's bouncer. The man, apparently drunk, had climbed onto the stage while a local singer was performing and tried to sing a duet with her. A fight is a relatively serious thing, and... Well, okay, fine. We'll send our cops out. It'll be fine, and when I say it'll be fine, we're a bit shy on literally everyone right now, actually. Lovely. Ooh, Purdy. Purdy is potentially back. Lovely. So, Chief, I just about nailed the Jap a couple of times. He was too fast for me and won on points. I really don't understand the rules, so I can't keep track of points very well. But he was alright, showed me a few tricks after the match. I got carried away a little and pulled my back. Can I take the day off? Okay, she's not asking, she's telling. I've just lost Purdy. I've literally got no officers here. Yes, quickly, pull the shutters down, thank goodness, because we have literally no officers left. Now we just have to wait to see how the day ends up. So the fight at Kevin's Throat Bar, marvellous. On the stage are two strippers going at it, and it's gone beyond arguing to a full-on cat fight. The bouncer's fast asleep, clearly too wasted to handle the situation. The drunken patrons are happily watching the fight. Listen, girls, cut the crapper, it's going to get serious. Draw a service weapon. Yeah, I'd say shut off the music, turn up the lights. The most sensible thing to do is just to do that. Oh dear. The strippers fighting continues, oblivious of the police presence. Right, so that didn't solve the situation. Watch the strippers go at it and don't interfere. Yeah, throw cold water at them. Let's just de-escalate this nice and calmly. Good. Officers unharmed. Everyone gets some nice improved everything. And one more crime to be taken care of. The fight at the other place, if I recall correctly. Here we are. One fight. Offenders caught, officers unharmed. Nice and easy because I sent Cocky along. Beautiful. And that there is the end of the day at 9 o'clock. And day 5 begins as the newspapers land. Officer Blaine explains, I thought she was a suicide bomber. Retired police officer Thomas Blaine shoots pregnant woman. Well, he probably shouldn't have done that then. Mayor Rogers, city has no problem with racist. You literally just ordered me to fire all the black officers. And if I do, that could cause some trouble. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I think I'm going to call this apart for now, but I'm going to play a little bit more of this. So, there will be more of this up tomorrow, because this is really rather good. I'm enjoying this. So, a little bit more of This Is the Police coming up. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nerd, and this has been This Is the Police. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Good dodge, man. Question is, can you keep it up, cop? Oh, no, you can't. Ooh, nice. Oh! Didn't quite get that one, though. We are going to the gun store in style. Oh, where's my partner? Oh, he's not here. Oh, so long, loser.